What is up, guys? And you're very welcome to another Degenerate Watch live stream. Well, it's actually the first one we've had since August last year. So decided to come on and do looking at a few comments just before we have a premiere of another Frauditor video tonight, just after this stream. So I'll just start off by wishing everyone a very happy Easter. I hope you had a good day. It's just over right now here in Ireland, as it's just midnight. So I hope you all had a good day, and hope you had a nice time. There hasn't been very many videos on the channel lately because I haven't been feeling too well lately. There about 2 weeks ago, and then I've had a family member sick in hospital as well. So it's just been a bit slow on the videos. But thankfully now everything's back to normal, just about, and things should get back to normal on the channel. So I'll just look there. I was just nearly missing a few comments there. Hi to King Leo there, John Bender, Roisin. Hope you all had a good. Hope you all had a good Easter. Hello to Jay Carr. And we're also streaming on Facebook, so hello to anyone watching us on Facebook over there as well. So anyway, some of the comments that I've picked out to look through, some of them are from a few older videos because I did plan on doing this stream a good while ago. So I'm only kind of getting around to it now. So hopefully anyway, it's still good. So I'll try come up for the next stream with comments off a few of the more recent videos. Just trying to refresh the chat here just to make sure it's coming through okay, because it's kind of slowed down there for a second. Yeah, I can see it now. It's just it was going very slow there. I'll try to keep the phone away from the microphone because I had trouble with that before. So anyway, I'll try get some comments up on the screen. But oh yeah, just before I actually do that, I'll have Frauditor compilation number 15 will be coming up on the channel straight after this, like I said. And hopefully y'all enjoy that one anyway. And as I said, hopefully we're getting back to normal with the videos here anyway. And yeah, like, so the chat start coming up properly now on this. So I see Roisin saying she's knackered there. Yeah, it is fairly late. And then after, if anyone's had a big dinner today as well, you could be nodding off in the chair at home. Hello to Killing Time passing through there as well. Oh yeah, I'll just go and get the first comment we're going to have a look at there. So the first comment here is from Chev Chelios, and it's actually a pretty cool name. It kind of reminds me of maybe a film star that maybe would have starred alongside someone like Steve McQueen or something back in the day in those car movies. But it was talking about a video there with you know, when officers get targeted on, you know, on social media by frauditors, you know, when they're kind of doxing these officers. And the officer in that particular video that he was referencing there got a lot of abuse, and so did his family as well. And so yeah, so that's pretty bad when that happens, or when they're giving out the phone numbers of the police stations for people to just ring up and harass them all day. And he also says there, let me just get that out of the way. He also says there that I do this for a living because you're not intelligent enough to get a real job. You couldn't even last a week at McDonald's because you would be filming the manager and telling him they were infringing on your workers' rights because reasons. And that was just in reference to these guys just going around saying to do this for a living, but you know yourself like what the story is with that. But yeah, so move on to another comment here. It's just a bit I'm just a bit slow at doing this at the moment. I'm a bit rusty at doing it, and then also I'm only working with one screen here at the moment, so this one's quite original. Yeah, just pardon me being a bit slow here. Yeah, so I presume it's YouTube rolls from NM, is probably New Mexico. It says Degenerate Watch is a cop sucker Karen. So that's very good. It's very nice. And I see their YouTube with this particular comment, because I'm a cop sucker Karen, provided me with two new options there. One is to call a manager, and the other is just to, send out a Karen alert. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of those sort of comments you get, cop sucker, bootlicker, all of these different things. And there's nothing really refreshing, really, but you know, yeah. So there's an original comment, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see some bootlicker comments as well as we go along. So I have this comment from Jose Cuervo saying that I'm the fraud, with no context whatsoever into why that is. But okay, if you say so. And then the turn says you can film over there where you can't see anything, in reference to the police telling people to, get back a bit. And I don't think the police's concern at all is to do with anybody, what sort of shots you're going to get or anything like that. They don't really care about that. It's more about officer safety, as opposed to, someone someone wanting to get a better angle on something like. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah. So yeah, that's just the usual there. But Jose has a nice dog there in the picture, though, I have to say. So, it's not all bad. Now, what comment will we go for next? Actually, this is a good one. I like this comment. Yeah, I thought this one was very clever. Yeah, so we have this comment here. And this is from Simon J, and he's wrote a little poem for us. He says, morons, morons everywhere, and not a brain in sight. They want my window rolled right down, but I'm quivering full of fright. Now they want my name, and next they want ID. I'm just so terrified of them, I think I lost some pee. I'll just whip out my Black's Law book. I know I'm right, of course, but if I want to live by 17th century law, I should have bought a horse. or I should have got a horse. So that was very creative. I like that. A bit of poetry there, a bit of Frauditor poetry, which inspired me to go looking for some Frauditor poems. And I came across this one. We'll have a look at this one. Now, this is a Frauditor poem. It's I wandered lonely as a frauditor that lurks around precincts and post offices, when all at once I saw a crowd of blue-clothed police officers. Right on the curb beneath the trees, I heard the cop say freeze. Right in my back I felt a pinch, and now I'm on my knees. Be wary now, young frauditors, and heed the tale I tell, so you don't wind up with Big Bubba keeping you company in your cell. See, that's our frauditor poem here. And it's good advice, because I heard Bubba's not nice. But yeah, so, you know, frauditors can inspire some nice poetry there. So, they might be doing something good, for literature at least. So, yeah. Thanks, Roisin. Yeah. So we'll move on to another comment here now. So I have this one here from Yeah Right, saying must be a bootlicker channel. Comment section is full of bootlicking zombies that thrive on watching their own rights get violated. It's almost like a stimulation for their two brain cells. Well, I'm pretty sure most of the people in the comment section of my videos, anyway, there seem to have more than two brain cells, anyway, because I think you need more than two brain cells to actually write a comment. Also, the fact that he says they thrive on watching their own rights get violated. Well, if anyone's rights getting violated, it's the person in the video. So they're not really, if that is actually happening, which most of the time it isn't, um, then they're not actually watching their own rights getting violated. Like, but and then the usual must be a bootlicker channel, must be, it must be, So yeah, right, yeah, right, yeah. I suppose that's apt name, but yeah, creative though. Oh yeah, and we have this. Obviously, this is super creative, from Balance Change. Y'all are bootlickers, you know. Obviously, like, clearly, like, because you say so. But yeah, that's the common thread here. Like, it's bootlickers, um, copsuckers, and then we Adam Dennis came up with the badge bunny idea that we could be, badge bunnies, like. Yeah, Leo, being being a zombie is better than being a frauditor anyway. We seem to get more entertainment anyway. Yeah, Jan, they don't actually understand rights now. They it's just whatever that suits themselves, like, and it doesn't really matter about anybody else. Now we move on to another comment. I had one there from, if I could find it now. Yeah. So if this was on bad and selfish drivers fail to yield to fire trucks, and BB says the only thing to and constant interjection of your unwanted commentary and horrible graphics. Well, I don't know, like, he seemed to like it, didn't he? That's very positive comment there. But yeah, the only thing to, yeah, I don't know what he's on about horrible graphics. And but anyway, if you go if you go back to then, like, that was one of the early videos, and that's something I get sometimes too about the videos, about the sound quality. On some of the earlier videos, somebody new would come along and find the video, and they might comment, oh, you need to get a microphone, but don't realize that the video was about 2 years ago. But yeah. See, the thing as well is, I've seen that as well. There's another comment as well that people always make about the interjection. But see, the thing is, that's the whole point, to interject and give an opinion or criticism or whatever like that. But I just think that just goes over BB's head there. But and Roisin says there, accept no responsibility, deny everything, and make counter accusations to Frauditor away. That is in a T, the philosophy of a Frauditor there. Definitely no responsibility accepted. And Jake Carr saying their rights are all that matter to them, which that's just it. They don't care about anyone else, and it's not even, they don't even care about being just decent with people. Like, they always have to be ignorant, and I think there's some of them out there that can be like civil with people and all, but they can get nasty when they're not getting their own way, like, and they can just completely change their stripes. Asher 1776 says apparently they only have 2 brain cells between all of them together. They all only seem to use bootlicker and copy. But that's it. You see, they can't come up with anything really original. It's the usual drivel and nonsense and the same stuff they've been using forever. Yeah, limited vocabulary. Yeah, I'd say, Leo, as well, I've seen on some of those some of the Frauditor channels, like, there's like basic little things that, like, they could improve on to make the videos better. Like, I like some of them on some, like, some of the more established Frauditor channels or whatever, like, have kind of upped their quality, so to speak. But some of the kind of newer channels starting out have a lot. Well, I suppose it's like that with anything, but yeah, there is a lot of terrible production out there. And John says if they don't like people laughing at frauditors, they have a right not to watch. Well, that's true, and that's the thing. Like, see, like, when they come over to a channel like this or whatever, and like, you're criticizing frauditors and they're trying to change your mind, like, it's not really going to happen, because they're using the same arguments from the video that that the frauditor was using, that you were criticizing anyway. So, like, it's really pointless. And Photogenic says opinions and buttholes, everyone has them. No, that's true. And we move on to another comment. This one here is from Sun Dragon. This is in reference to a video about Long Island audits, saying Frauditor question mark. He happened to be wrong and apologized. He's normally in the right and does a lot of good, holding officers and postal employees, or city hall employees, etc., accountable for their wrong and illegal actions, and teaches them the law and not to violate rights. Zero wrong with that. It's a good thing. Yeah, well, obviously, like, if there is wrongdoing going on out there in the police or public service or whatever like that, and somebody discovers it and brings it to the attention and has something changed about it, well, then that's fair enough. Like, that is a good thing. But hanging out in post offices, in lobbies, just recording people going about their business, like, what wrongdoing are you going to catch in the lobby? Like, like if there's wrongdoing going on in that post office, right? Let's say, for example, it's going to be something to do with money going missing or lying about stuff, or funding or something like that. You're not going to find that out standing out in the public hallway, because if it's something going on that they don't want people to know about, they're not going to be talking about it in the public areas. So it's kind of just a stupid argument. And then saying that they're doing it just because they can, but they don't even read poster 7 most of the time. But the thing about this is that saying he happened to be wrong and apologized. Well, see, that's the thing. He was wrong. And if he is normally right, as you're saying, then, well, like, what's normally right? That you don't sound very convinced he's normally right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Like, and I had somebody comment recently there, was saying that Long Island audit has improved or whatever. I had somebody that's like, we'll say that supports him, I suppose, or not so much supports him, but just supports, what they're doing or whatever. And I think they were kind of getting at the point that, on the channel here, you're kind of just poking at auditors. What about bad police officers? And I had planned on doing a video about, there was a couple of little things I came across with different police officers where basically other police officers had to, like, go arrest a police officer or something like that. Some of them were for simple things like, like a mobile phone going missing that was, ordered by the court to be handed over, and then police had to go. But it's just showing that, like, when these frauditors say, oh, have you ever arrested any bad cops? Well, there are cops out there that have arrested bad cops, and I will do a video on that to kind of, for the balance of things as well at the same time. But that guy was just commenting to me saying that he reckons that this Long Island audit guy has improved in his approach or whatever like that, and that from that video he's a lot different now or whatever. But I haven't seen anything new by him, like, in a while, like, so I don't really know what he's like at the moment or nothing. But in that particular video that we're talking about, he did have to apologize and all, like, in order not to get a conviction or whatever. Catch up on some comments here. Yeah, John Bender said people at work don't need to have cameras forced in their face. Well, that's true. And then they always argue that point as well about, oh, there's CCTV cameras there and all. And, like, but they're not going to be posted on YouTube later on. And they're not going to find the moments when someone's at their worst or whatever, and then, make it about that. When you go anywhere to do business, like, you're not expecting it to show up on the internet later on. Killing time passing through says, what is he going to find in a library? Yeah, that's another. Yeah, but, like, I'd say that's the thing. Like, it's just, and a library, that's another thing. It's just where can we cause maximum disruption? Go to a library, where you have to be quiet and where people are trying to concentrate on what they're doing, and people walking around the tables causing a stir and all is definitely going to cause attention. And yeah, JCar, yeah, they only do post that. Yeah, that's true. And it's the same with when they go to police stations and hang around police stations saying, oh yeah, we're trying to find corruption. But, like, what corruption are you going to find standing outside the entrance to the car park or in the lobby? Or, it's ridiculous, like, that way. Like, you see even journalists, if you see journalists, like, you see plenty of stories of, like, corruption being uncovered somewhere. And journalists do an awful lot of work in order to find out these things, to have sources, to have different means of finding out information. But these frauditors just go and stand in a lobby. And so, like, and then the corruption apparently is when the police come out and tell them to leave, and then they're being tyrants. But I don't know. Yeah, John says, I challenged them to go tape dope dealers on corners, but have yet to see it happen. They wouldn't do that because it wouldn't last 2 minutes. Imagine that, go audit the dope dealer. But that'd be something, go take the bad out of the neighborhood by doing that. But they wouldn't be brave enough to do that. He also tried Hyde's policy. Yeah, that's true. That's another thing, you see, and it's very disingenuous, to people that are following him to kind of hide that. Like, the best thing to probably do is just to admit that you were wrong and move on. See, even this comment we're talking about here, that girl said he was wrong and apologized. Like, she's even forgiven him, let's say. So, like, I don't see what's the point of lying. Just say, look, we lost. And that's it. Like, but then Roisin says no police have ever been called for an annoying CCTV. That's true. you know. And anyway, half the time you don't even notice the CCTV. You nearly just expect CCTV to be in most places. Actually, if I go into a shop anywhere and there's no CCTV, I'm actually surprised, and I'm thinking, geez, you're leaving yourself open there, like for something bad to happen. Um, yeah, and Roshan said every one of them's working on a story. Not one has ever produced a film, and that's true. Like, because there's, what story are they working on? Like, it's always this story, and when they're asked what it's about, they say they can't discuss it because, well, they can't show their hand or tip their hat or all these sayings, about, or it might jeopardize the outcome of the story. Of course it will, because the story is, I want to get a reaction out of you and make you look stupid and hopefully sue your department. So if you tell them that, they're not going to play ball, I suppose. And Asher says it's like claiming a win in court because your case got dismissed when the courts are tired of dealing with you. But that's it, like, and like the courts are tied up with all sorts of different criminals and all sorts of different things, and like for petty things like that, like they have to let sometimes they have to let these things go in order to deal with more severe cases, and then these people think that they've got off with it. Well, essentially they have, but they think they've won, or they've had some one over on the state or whatever, but it's not really anything like that. We move on to another comment. I'm also going to have a couple of clips to play as well then after we look at some of these comments. Yeah, this is another one about this is actually about that Long Island Audit video as well. And this one's from Texan. And Texan says the only thing that he interfered with was the cop's ego. He had to write a letter to get the deal with the government. This video was made to discourage filming police. He had to write a letter to get the deal with the government. Well, you have to ask yourself, right? Why would you have to write any letter to get any sort of deal with the government if you've done nothing wrong? That's just crazy. Like, and it was a letter of apology to the police. It wasn't a deal. Like, he wasn't dealing. Like, he wasn't sending it to the White House. Like, This video is the video that was made to discourage filming police was my video, I presume. But whatever. Like, or actually, sorry, maybe we're talking about the police, the video the police actually made of it. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I think because he was gloating on social media that he had won or something, that police department actually put out like a video on social media clearing the air with people and letting them know that no, he wrote an apology, and then it was dropped, so he wouldn't actually end up getting the charge, like, but it's just crazy, like. And another thing they always say is about the cops' ego. Like, I'm not saying, like, of course, as we always say, like, there's people out there in every profession that, are ego tripping and that are power tripping and all that. You get that everywhere, like that, but like not everybody's like that. It's just they just believe that their own nonsense. This was actually a funny comment. I can't even remember what video this was on, but I just thought that this gentleman should be encouraged for the sake of content. Tomo Haverty says, I'd love to do this in Dublin city centre. Just video the Gardas in public, like the Americans. People rights, First Amendment audit. Photograph is not a crime. Okay. If anybody knows what's the law on photograph in the public in Ireland, and do I have the right to video the Gardas while in public on a public footpath? Keep the Gardas in check. I'd love to know. Well, somebody please inform this man that he's perfectly entitled to do that, and we'd love to see him go out there because we'd love some Irish content, where this guy would. But no, but I don't know actually if we should be encouraging that at all. Maybe it's irresponsible, but yeah, he won't get on well here doing that. If he's going to do the same thing, standing in post offices and guard stations and stuff like that, it's not it wouldn't be the same vibe as in the United States. Like I just have a feeling that he wouldn't last too long doing it. It wouldn't be like over there the way some of these guys that get arrested and maybe might get done for trespassing or something like that, and they'll keep doing it. I just have a feeling that just the way things are here, I just reckon he'd probably do it once or twice and then he'd probably give up. But see what people are saying here in the comments. Killing Time Pastor said the police made body cam footage public to show the entire interaction in context. Yeah, that's right. And it's actually good that the police actually did that, because it took the whole wind out of his sails over the whole situation, and for their own sake, to clear things up and not make themselves look stupid, like. And Asher says sometimes, especially with those who deal with the public all day, it's that they are just tired of dealing with BS, and that's true. Like, do you know what I mean? It's some of this, like, so some people, I can understand sometimes when you go into a certain place, like maybe a hospital or a certain public buildings or whatever. Some of the staff do get a hard time off the public sometimes, and they're kind of stretched thin at times. So I understand when people can be a little bit off, in places, but it happens to everyone, I suppose. And thanks very much to Keeper there for the $5. And Keeper says, I've never been on your live. Much love. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. And hopefully we'll have more live streams going forward. And I know I said that before, and it's been like since last August, as I said, since we had our last live stream, and I've been saying I'm going to do this one about the comments for a long time, but I just never got around to it. So I just said tonight I'm just going to do it before the premiere of the Frauditor video. So yeah. And Photogenic is saying plain waste of time, and that's true. That is true. It is just a waste of time. It's a waste of everyone's time. The people in the building that are harassing the police and everybody else. But yeah, and then as well, like I don't know, like I know most people watching these videos on this channel wouldn't actually be over on their channels or whatever, like looking at what's going on or whatever. But sometimes you see in the comments, like it's just hilarious, like some of the people that are like commenting on what they're saying, and that's just madness, like and they'd even be saying about like people that are disagreeing, like it's all the same stuff, bootlickers, zombies, all of this. Now we'll I think, and I have one or two little positive comments here as well. So we'll actually look at a couple of positive comments just for just to change it up a little bit. So we have a comment here from John Thomas saying, well done, keep up the excellent content. So thanks to John for that. And Causeless Rebin saying, keep the wolves. Yes, because somebody in one of the videos, I think it was the last comments video I did, somebody was saying about I use the wolves in my videos to gain some sort of sympathy or tug on some sort of heartstrings to make people believe that the frauditors are wrong or something like that. There was, there's some psychology behind me using the wolves and all this. Like, so I don't really understand that, but I just like wolves. But okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, causeless rebel, the wolves won't be going anywhere. They'll be staying there. And then Asher saying worked in a pharmacy for 20 plus years, was never rude to customers, but those who were like frauders definitely only got the minimum necessary. Everyone else I would go above and beyond. Well, that's a good way to be about it. Never lower yourself to being rude as such, but only don't go the extra mile if somebody's being obnoxious towards you. That's kind of a good philosophy to have. And yeah, and thank you again, Keeper. I'm glad you do like the channel. And then everybody said no, it can't be bothered to give them views. And Photogenic says they can't. They get no views from me. Yeah, see, that's the thing, and a lot of people say that too. Yeah, the wolves are the mascots, and actually, it'll be coming up now in June. It'll be a year since we adopted the other wolf, and I have I have a video coming up on that, and I know I've been saying that for ages as well. Everything is I have a video coming up, but it is coming up about the wolves, and I have another idea for this year when it comes to June. I'll be talking more about that, but it'll be something wolf related as well, but it'll be a little bit. I don't know how quite to explain it without giving it away, but there'll be more wolf related content out of this thing, so stay tuned for that, I suppose. And once again, thank you again, Keeper, for the $10. And you have my support 100. Just ignore the negative, my friend. And I know you are. Much love. Yeah, well, see, that's it. You just kind of, that's what I decided at the start when I start making videos on the channel. I decided to myself that there's no point of engaging with certain people that comment, if you know what I mean. They're just looking for an argument that will just go on and on and on and on forever. And there's going to be no winner. I have my opinion, they have theirs. And sometimes you can have a discussion with certain people that they can you can kind of have, they'll see some of your side, you'll see some of theirs, and you can actually have a reasonable conversation. But the majority are just there like trolls, just to try get a rise and bog you down in the comments. So most of the time it's just like ignore those sort of comments anyway. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, there is an awful lot of negative people, out there. And, there's always somebody that has something negative to say. But, but appreciate your support. And hello there to Chuck. Just missed that there. And Leo says, love the Wolves. Sorry they're gone in Ireland. Yeah, I know. And see, that's the thing. That I think there was I seen an article it was a while ago about reintroducing them, but I think I was actually saying that to you, Leo. I'm not quite sure. I think I was about that there's a lot of resistance towards it from people thinking of like livestock and stuff like that. And I do understand that, like, but I don't know, it's kind of hard. Like, they have been reintroducing them in places in Europe, like they've been reintroducing some of them and have been successful. So you never know, it might happen. There might be a harmony. Now, I know a long time ago the wolves were hunted into extinction here, mainly because they were attacking like livestock and people and stuff like that. But I suppose today, like with more modern technology, with like, electric fences and stuff like that, there may be a way of reintroducing them without having a harmful effect on other things, but you never know. And there, Mary saying happy Easter, and happy Easter to you there as well, Mary. I hope you had a good one. Oh, and Mary's just saying there that the wolves have been reintroduced to County Donegal. Oh, that's brilliant to hear. It'd be great to see some wolves around the country again, and get the wildlife photographers out to get some nice pictures for us. So yeah, that'd be good. And Roisin saying, why argue with strangers? Don't they have family like the rest of us? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, do they not have people at home to argue with? Yeah. But see, that's it. The people at home are probably sick of listening to them, so they come onto YouTube then, and they're they come onto the Degenerate watch to argue in the comments. And Roshan said, as long as they stay away from my livestock. You see, that's the thing. You don't want farmers' livestock to get taken or destroyed, because that's their livelihood. And at the same time, you would like to see the wolves. It's kind of, if there was some sort of a balance, I suppose, that could be struck there somewhere. But and I know, like even recently, I know there's a thing with like even with foxes and stuff like that can be a big problem on farms and stuff like that. But wolves are like far bigger and probably more, well, obviously more strong. Stephanie is saying, I enjoy your work. We have plenty of wolves in my country. Where are you watching us from, Stephanie? Or Stefan? Sorry, I read that wrong. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's true. Nature and family, and see, that's the thing as well. I always find that when you go out in nature, even just for a walk, like what I'm saying, like out to the woods or somewhere, even on the beach or something like that, it does make you feel better. It does take your mind off things for a while, especially if you do see some wildlife. Yeah, that's true, Roshan. Yeah, no matter how much someone loves you, they'll eventually get sick of it. Yeah, that's true. Pine martens too. I've never seen one of those in the flesh as such. I've seen loads of pictures, but I've never seen one, and I've been in a couple of woods that they're supposed to be around, or they've been seen there, and I've never seen one. They're so hard to see, but well, for me anyway. Okay. Okay, yes, sorry, Stefan. I just read that wrong. I don't know what I was doing there. And yeah, Canada, yeah, no, Canada, plenty of wolves in Canada. Yeah, that's cool. And moose as well. They're another kind of, they're an unusual animal. Yeah, that's true. Actually, some ecosystems won't thrive without the predators. Jay Carr says area full of fox and bear. Yeah, bear's another one. Yeah, see that's I've seen loads of those videos on YouTube. Of people like coming across bears when they're out camping or out hunting in the woods like that. It's scary. Some of those bears are just, I don't know, they're just too big. And photogenic saying they're also French Canadian. So there's a few Canadians watch the channel. And John Bender is in Kansas, and they have coyotes or coyotes. I've heard people saying coyotes. I'm not sure whatever way to pronounce it correctly. Mm. Roger said that Pine Martins love chickens. That's the thing. They look kind of cute looking, but I'd say they're vicious. And Asher saying moose are mean. Oh yeah, and polar bears. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, polar bears are scary. I actually did. Anybody ever see that video on YouTube? It's like some nature show where the guy went out and he was in like a cube or a ball or something like that, and the polar bear could see him, like, and he was trying to get in at him, but like he couldn't actually get in, and then he just realized he was going to waste too much energy trying to get this guy out of his dome or whatever he was in, and the polar bear just left. But like, it's so scary looking at how big they are and how ferocious they are. Yeah, that's true. Keep a lot of nice wildlife down in Florida, especially down like you have the Everglades there, and you've plenty of wildlife down there. Very interesting. And the fact that you have that whole Everglades area, but then you have like the coast as well on the eastern side. We'll say, if am I being right? Yeah, the eastern side of Florida. So like you have a diversity of wildlife there. Virginia, J Cars, and Fox and Bear near me live next to national forest. So that's actually great to live close to a national forest like that. So plenty of trips in the summer. And Keeper saying, yeah, you seen that video as well. And that's true as well. With that, with the polar bear, I don't know how that guy went out and did that. Like, I'd just be afraid that the glass or the perspex or whatever it was would have broken. See if we can get another, have another comment here now. And two more positive comments. One is from Nita Beasley saying, "I love your channel. You are articulate and humble." Well, thank you very much. And that one kind of makes you blush a bit, because I don't take compliments too well, I suppose. Um, Then Ralphie Boy says, "Thank you for your opinion of numbnuts. And yes, Biden is paying for your leaders of Pajin." That's in reference to this channel being a government funded propaganda channel. So yeah, Biden is paying for the Pajin and everything else apparently, according to some of those people on in that comment section. And thank you, Keeper. Heard my dogs going nuts. Jake Carr said, "Heard my dogs going nuts last year. Went on deck to see bears strolling down the street." I said that was probably a nightmare to see. As long as he wasn't coming towards your house. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right, Roisin. Yeah, like Michael D is fairly cute, all right. He's so stereotypically Irish looking, if you know what I mean, for a president, But he's nice. And I like it. I like his dogs as well. I know one of them died there. I think it was sometime last year. Well, I'm not quite sure. I think it was sometime last year. But he's really nice dogs. So probably the most. How would you say? Probably met the most world leaders or something like that. Yeah, that's right. He got a new puppy, and it's kind of cool, when they kind of share stuff like that, when you can kind of see what goes on. But yeah, yeah, dogs are lovely, and up at the president's house, they've plenty of room to run around anyway. And take care of the bear Eddie's trash can. Oh no, see that's the thing. They come down looking for the food. You just don't want to get in their way. This comment here from KFR saying, "I love how when you shit on people, their first instinct is to make up a giant conspiracy theory." And that's true. That was to do with the fact that we were criticizing the frauders, and then they were saying that the channel was government funded, and it was some sort of a propaganda channel. So you know what I mean. Uh, Keeper's just saying have to head out there, and thank you very much for the $5. Saying have to head out. Much love, my friends. Happy Easter. You guys have a very blessed night. See you soon. And you have a very blessed night too. And take care. And thank you very much for the super chats as well. And I hope you have a happy rest of your Easter. And hello to James, who's just joined us there as well. Oh, is that with that Burmese mountain dogs, Roisin? I didn't know that. And it's nice to work with dogs, photogenic. Yeah, make counter accusations. That's it. Now, thank you very much for joining us, Keeper. Yeah, just before I go on with some more comments, I actually came across this thing there. I was back in the summer, I think it was back in August, where there was a cafe in Dublin called it was the White Moose Cafe, I think. Um, yeah, I just came across this and I thought this was really kind of sad to see. This is just kind of unrelated. I just came across it there in the thing here. Um, So basically, the White Moose Cafe, they had a little dog garden out the side of the cafe in Dublin, and they used to run these events. Maybe I think it was. I'm not quite sure if it was monthly or if it was. So yeah, they used to run dog adoption days where charities such as the DSPCA, Dogs in Distress, and Wicklow SPCA could bring gorgeous pooches in need of a forever home to the park where people could view them, play with them, and maybe even adopt them. They said in every single adoption day they held, there was a 100% adoption success rate. The days were also great fun that would bring joy to many people in attendance, just as much as the dogs themselves. So basically, what happened here is that a neighbor of the cafe that lives locally has been complaining about different. I think they must have some issue with the cafe. I'm not quite sure, but they've been complaining about this doggy park that's there. And to be quite honest, when you look at the pictures there, I might even have a better picture of that. When you look at the pictures there, it's a yeah. I actually have a better picture there. It's a nice little park. It's not an eyesore or nothing like that, right? And it should be just on the screen there. It's not an eyesore or nothing like that. And so the neighbour was complaining about it, and the council told them that they had to take it down. Now, all the people you see in the photograph there are all people that have showed up to one of these doggy adoption days, which is a great thing not only for the cafe, obviously, with people coming to the cafe, but also for those animal shelters and stuff having a place to bring the dogs and hopefully, and as they said, it was 100% success rate. So every dog that was brought there got adopted. So it's actually handier for people. Like it's hard to get people to go out to shelters, but if you're having that in the local area where people can just come and have a look at the animals and kind of get the bond with them and all like that, there is more chance of someone taking a dog home. So I just thought that was very bad of the neighbor. Now I don't know what the issue is or what the problem is. It could be just one of those typical people that just begrudges any sort of good going on elsewhere. There's just a couple more pictures of one of the doggy adoption days, but yeah, I just don't understand it. Now they're still obviously going to continue doing something there, but you know, I just thought that was very low for somebody. Like it doesn't like it's very clean. It you know I just don't understand why somebody would complain about that. I'd understand if the dogs were running loose around the place, running into people's gardens and dirtying the place and stuff like that. But it's literally not like they're decent people going out to do something good. But of course, somebody in the local area doesn't like it, so they had to stop. So once again, the few ruin it for the many, as we've said. Yeah, Photogenic says killjoys everywhere. And John Bender says a bark park. That's good. That's a good one. But see, that's the thing. It's people try to do something good, and there's always somebody there to rain on it. And yeah, dogs are usually pretty chill. Like most of the dogs, those dogs there would be pretty. I guess to be pretty chill as well. Like they're not going to. Some of those sanctuaries aren't going to bring any dogs that are going mad, like out to be adopted. Like, but it's just madness. I just came across that and I just thought it was crazy, just madness. Like for someone to just be complaining about that. Um. So what I might do now is I might move on and look at some clips that I had there, and then we can move on then to the premiere of the Frauditor video. And of course, I will do another comments live stream and another probably comments video as well. Like, but I hope to do some more live streams. Hopefully over the coming week, maybe do another one. So we'll see how things go anyway. So yeah. Yeah, so see what clips I was going to look at there. Does anybody remember the video we did a while back about the actually sorry, the video we did a while back about the parents that were asleep in the house and the kids were well, one of the kids was out roaming around in the street, and luckily for some passers-by, they came and they, called the police, and then the police sorted it out. But the parents didn't really seem to know what was going on at the time, and they seemed to be very, I don't know what you'd say. Yeah, there's the thumbnail from it there. No, technical difficulties there. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thumbnail from it there. And that guy there is the father. Like he got arrested, and so did the mother. But he couldn't understand why he was being arrested. But but anyway, I came across another clip. Now some people may have seen this. I don't know. It's recent enough. There, it's from a couple of months ago. It's from I want to say it's from Florida. I'm not sure. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. But I neglected to write a note on that to make sure that I knew where it was from. But I have this little clip here anyway of somebody else, obviously, that heard this. This is just a little clip of body cam from the officers. Somebody obviously called the police, and because they heard a child screaming. Now the child wasn't only screaming, kids scream when they're messing around and all, but this child was screaming consistently for a prolonged period of time. So they assumed that there was something amiss, so they called the police. So we're going to look at that, and it's just a video to see, but it just shows you how clueless some of these people can be. And just before we hop into that clip, let's see what people are saying there. Actually, Jay Carr says, actually happened to me. I wasn't asleep, ran to empty dryer, 3-year-old escape artist son went for a stroll. Yeah, no, definitely deters. But see, that's the thing though. In that situation with you, like you obviously you're saying your reaction to it was you were terrified, so obviously you knew that was danger or whatever, but you weren't in the house neglecting, you were actually busy and doing things like that happen. But these other people are just like, totally irresponsible. They literally know what they're doing. They have to know what they're doing, but to just act ignorant, or to just act ignorant to the police and everybody else. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Jay Carr. You see, and that's the thing. Like you call the police weren't showing up at your house with your son. Do you know what I mean? Like after him being wandering in the street for hours, So that's the thing. Things like that happen. But you see, normal people have the reaction of being terrified, feeling bad, and all. People like these people in these videos, they have no clue at all that what they've done is wrong. And that's right, John Bender said you can't relax when you have toddlers. Definitely not. I suppose toddlers are at that age where they don't have enough sense as such to not know danger, but they're mobile enough to get into danger. So that's the thing. So yeah, we'll have a look at this clip here. Yeah, so we'll have a look at this.
that someone passed out on the ground right there?
Supposed to be alone with the kids right now after my surgery.
Are they both your children?
Yes. Your ID?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Are you guys looking for someone?
Yeah, you.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you the mother of these children here?
Yeah, what's up?
They've been screaming and crying.
Yeah, they're playing. They have the windows open. That's what they do.
They're not playing, ma'am.
Right, well, he looks like he needs some juice or something. He's showing me his cup.
Yeah, I was just about to go get them.
Okay, well, we're getting complaints that they feel like there's children in distress over there.
Yeah, they're very loud and they scream a lot.
Yeah, it's called a kid.
Yeah. They scream a lot and they're very,
How old are they?
almost 2 and 3. They're very
Is anybody supervising them?
Yeah, I was just in there. Like, I was just in there getting them stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I have my other daughter in the
So there's like 10,000 choking hazards in there that they're locked in that room and nobody's in there supervising them? As they're screaming for the whole neighborhood to call us?
Is that bright in your eyes?
And this apparently has not been the first time from all your neighbors calling in, saying that they hear this multiple times throughout the week. Do you have an ID with you?
It's in my room. I don't...
When was the last time you even changed their diapers? As it's sagging there, probably full.
They had a ton of juice, and it was probably an hour and a half ago that I changed their diapers.
Does this seem to be a safe environment for your children?
Yeah, it's completely safe. It's just, they're very, very loud and vocal. And since both of the windows are opened...
This is a safe environment, huh?
We're still cleaning it out. Their uncles and aunt just left and they trashed the place. So...
I'm not enthused so far, to be honest with you.
Neither am I.
You notice the cockroaches on the walls?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can see the...
So the screen was in there.
Yeah, the screen was in, but you see how they had the holes and stuff where they're pushing their fingers through, and I mean, I feel like you could easily push that out if you actually tried.
Okay.
It took her several minutes to, it seemed, a good amount of time to answer the door. When she answered the door, she was like groggy and tired.
Was the baby with her when she answered the door?
No.
Okay, so she wasn't.
The infant was asleep in the bed. She seemed tired, groggy, kind of out of it, like she just awoken. And they were banging on the door that was locked from the other side. With an empty juice cup. Mommy, mommy, mommy.
With an empty what?
Juice cup.
Juice cup?
Juice.
Oh, juice cup. Oh, I was like, what's a juice cup? Okay.
And screaming, mommy, mommy, juice, juice. And just loud screeching. Do you want to explain it?
Sure. So based on our findings tonight, okay, we do have probable cause to make the arrest on both of you. Okay? It's just not fair to what's happening with these kids. All right, so both of y'all are going to be going to jail tonight for child neglect. Okay, DCF has obviously custody of the kids, and they're going to be staying with your sister, cousin. Is that what it is? Hopefully you guys are able to get out tomorrow. You can get back to your baby.
Yeah, with what? We have no money. I have no family.
I understand, but we have probable cause to make the arrest. Okay?
We don't tolerate this. All right. The conditions they're in is unsafe for them in general. Completely unsatisfactory.
If I leave my wallet and my ID and stuff to my mother,
You're gonna probably want your wallet and your ID when you go. All right, go ahead. Put your hands back, please. Put your palms together, just like you're praying.
Palms together. Palms together, like you're praying.
I know you're upset about your kids, but you hitting your head against that glass is not going to do anything. You have 3 little ones that care about you, that are waiting for you.
Yeah.
So let's just get this over with, okay? We're going to go get you cleared at the hospital. If you don't want to get any treatment or anything, you'll just have to tell them that.
I don't want to go to
Okay.
the
Okay,
hospital.
but we
When
have-
get there, you just tell them you don't want to see them, and they'll just fill out a piece of paper, and we leave. But according to our policy, because you just
I'll
had
fill it out now. I
don't
don't
have
want to
it.
go there
It's
at
fine.
all. I hate Advent.
All
They
right.
treat me like shit.
Okay, perfectly fine. It's not your decision, it's ours, okay? Our policy states you're going to have to go. If you sign out AMA, that's not a problem. You don't even have to get out of the car. That's not a problem, okay? At the end of the day, this is what is happening. I'm very sorry to be the one to tell you that, but there's no decision here. There's no choice to be made. This is what's happening. Please do not hit your head against my partition. All it's going to do is hurt and damage my car, okay?
I don't care if it hurts.
Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns at this point in time?
No.
Great. Close the door. Let's go.
All right, I'm going.
I think that lady was one of the people that guy was talking about in the comment section with 2 brain cells, because she was finishing off what was left of her brain cells by banging it on that partition. But that's ridiculous, like, you know. And the fact that they were just so blasé about it, and then cry, they always cry at the end and don't understand why this is happening, and they always come out with the excuses. If you've no money and no family and all, there are supports in place, and there is a better way of going about things than just leaving the children in squalor like that. But it's just crazy, like. And John Bender was saying arrest, but I am hungover. And that's the thing, you know, it's a bother for them to be, oh no, you're not arresting me, really, like, you know. I was about to go score some meth tonight, you know. It's just as ridiculous, like. And he also says that the kids are more worried for the parents than the parents are for the kids, and that's 100% true. Because, you know, the parents be getting carted off in the police car, and the kids will be shouting, "Mommy, Daddy," or whatever. And it's sad, like, you know, and they're thinking, oh, there's my mother or father getting brought off by the police. They don't understand what's going on. You know, crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to show that clip because it was kind of tied in with that other video that I did, and I came across it not long after that, you see. And, you know, I just thought that was really bad, like the state of the house with all the stuff all over the place. And the fact that she said that, oh, I was heading in there to sort them out and all that, and they're screaming, they're so loud, but they're kids, like, you know. And I'm not being funny, like, if you can't handle the responsibility, or if your life is a mess, don't be bringing other responsibilities into it if you can't handle what you already have. But it's bad. And like John was saying further up, you'd hate for the state to take someone's kid, but in this case it may be best. And that's what I was saying, like that. I don't like to see families breaking up, but at the same time, in that situation, what can you actually do? The kids can't stay in that, or they end up going to have no life for themselves. Like, so, you know, someone has to take responsibility, and unfortunately it has to be the state or the government or whoever, you know. Hopefully, in most cases like that, hopefully that there is maybe grandparents or other family members that could take the kids. But then again, those people, they look in their 30s, maybe. I don't know. They have grandparents. The grandparents are at least in their 70s, 80s, maybe. And that's a very big thing to be putting in on top of somebody that's elderly. You know, that responsibility of having to look after young kids. So, you know, it's so selfish just for people just to sit around and just waste away. And just a big shout out there to Jay Carr, who has just become a channel member. So thank you very much for that. And just on the subject of channel membership, anybody that is a channel member that's watching, anytime that I post members only content, YouTube at the moment doesn't send out notifications. Recently, I only found out that it's kind of in this beta phase at the moment where they haven't ironed out the notifications part of it. So I had been posting like a members notification, like a members post in the community tab, and it, like, obviously people weren't seeing it. Like, so what I'm going to do is I will just post it as a normal community post to let members know, because you should get a notification about that. That's kind of the only way, really, unless you just kind of check back on the members tab. That way you'll see whatever's being posted up or whatever. But Yeah, and then Roisin saying there, neither has a job, I'm sure, and that is the case with a lot of these. They're just kind of they could be on welfare and they're just sitting around and really kind of. I know it's easier said than done to say, "Oh, clean up your act and go get a job," but a lot of them don't seem to have that want in them to actually do that in the first place. So you know what I mean. And that's true, yeah. That is no family. It's no upbringing to have like, and I can imagine like if the kids stayed in that setting, by the time they become teenagers, young adults, they're going to have a lot of problems of their own, stemming from what they were left in. So yeah, that's another thing, and I say that here in Ireland as well. I'm not saying everyone's like it's only a small few people that are doing that, but it's like that here too. With you see some people and you think, geez, are they only having children to get more benefits or whatever like that? But that could be the case. It's kind of speculation, but you know, it does seem to be the case in some situations. Yeah, work ethic. Yeah, there's no work ethic there at all. Yeah, King Leo. Yeah, see that's what's been happening because I think I posted a video there about a week ago, and I don't think there's don't think there's any views on it yet. And I was saying people must not see that there. And then it's only when I looked into it, so YouTube are still working on that. So I don't know why they haven't sorted that out. I don't know what the you know what the technicalities are of them. Like, because when you put up a normal video, they can send out a notification to everyone. I don't understand how a members post wouldn't send out a notification. I don't know, but they have assured people that they're working on that. So hopefully soon, anyway. And Jay Carr saying there as well, often they have very few skills to get a job, and that can be true too. And like some of those people may have come from a similar background themselves, and it's like as people say, it's a cycle, and it's only when like the police, let's say, in this situation, step in, or family member or someone else, a concerned citizen steps in. That's what breaks the cycle of that. Otherwise, it just keeps going and going and going. So, I suppose it just takes more people pointing out when things are wrong and stuff like that to kind of break the cycle in these families where that thing seems to be happening. Um, yeah, generational poverty. That's what it seems to be, generational poverty. Like it just goes on and goes on, and that's the thing. Like I always like to think that, like when I go back to like my, let's say, my grandparents, they would have had very little. They would have had a large family, and most of the people in the family, like my parents and stuff like that, would have went out young, working from like the ages of 13, 14, 15, whatever, and they would have been out working, and then obviously, then like when my generation came along, I have, let's say, more than my parents had at my age, and they had more, like at my age now, than their parents had. And that's kind of a good way to progress things, as opposed to like those people where they're stuck in this cycle of nobody's actually stepping up at all. Like there's no next level where, you know, the kids are building a better future for their kids and so on and so on. Like there's none of that. Yeah, education was always stressed. It was always about going and getting like, you know, going and getting some sort of skill, and it's whatever skill, like, as long as you have some sort of a skill to fall back on, it's always good. And then as well, like if you think about it, back in like, let's say, 50s, 60s, like even way back, even if you go back even in as recent as the 90s, let's say, there wasn't as much opportunity out there for people in terms of it's easier now, we'll say, for people to, I'm not saying there's more jobs out there as such, but it's easier for people to look up jobs online now. That wasn't around before. You can apply for jobs online. There's so much more opportunity, and it's easier in some aspects to find out certain information. And also, like, you know there should be no excuse these days for people being able to try do something, like there's so much information there and it's easily accessible than way back. And as well, like there's a lot more knowledge now of things, so. But then I suppose another thing we have now, I see in that's currently going on, is we have a lot of young people that want to be, let's say, influencers. And I see that a lot, like especially on social media. And yeah, I'm not saying some of them can't be successful, but it's like a thing I seen a while ago. Like everybody wanted to become a hairdresser. So like everybody in a small town would go and do that, and they'd all go and set up their own salon. But not everyone would do well, and only a few would survive. And it kind of could be a thing like that, where some of these like teenagers might not bother as much with their education as such, and focus on their social media, and then that might flop, and then they're left with nothing, and they're older at that stage, so it's much harder to go back and start reclaiming those years of education or whatever, or getting a skill. So like I do worry for for people when I see that, though. um Jay Carr saying my parents, hang on there, my parents were both raised on farms, both got through college. Dad ended up working in the White House. Education is key. See, that's a good success story. And that's the thing. People can end up going great places from like humble beginnings. Like, so it's all about wanting more and focusing on that and just like going for it. Like, and that's the thing. And see, the thing with McDonald's as well. Like, McDonald's is a good job for people. Like, let's say starting out, like, because it does teach people the skills of a job. It's the same with working in a supermarket and stuff like that. And some people do go on and make a career out of that sort of thing, where they stay there and they work their way up through the management or whatever. And that's fair enough. But when you see people like these parents or whatever, and they're just sitting around doing nothing, and you're thinking, like, there's teenagers out there that are getting out of bed in the morning and going to, with like teenagers with no responsibilities, no kids, no nothing, are bothering to get out of bed to go out and work at McDonald's. And you're sitting at home saying, oh, no, no, I wouldn't work at McDonald's or whatever, like these parents or whatever. But like the teenagers are going out just to get, let's say, pocket money to buy bits and bobs for themselves or whatever. But like this guy in that video, or those parents, they have kids to feed, like, and they're not even bothered getting up. So it's crazy, like. And then Roshi says, I was raised on a farm, went to college, still on the farm. See, what's that? You can take a girl out of the farm, but you can't take the farm out of the girl, or something like that. But see, that's the thing, like, But as long as you're enjoying the farm, that's the main thing. But that's another thing, though. Having an education, having a skill or something like that's always great to have, like. And Jake Carr says I think he's replying to John Bender there, saying, true, John, but the welfare system does not allow for it. Work with many families, hate welfare, need change system. And see, I see that with some things as well. Like, there are some people on welfare, let's say in Ireland, that are like genuinely struggling on welfare. But there's other people that aren't, that, let's say, shouldn't be on it. We'll say that probably could go out and get a job, but they're not. And sometimes I find that they're pushing the wrong people. Do you know what I mean? There's people that are on it that are genuine, that I like. You hear stories of people like that are getting like hassled or whatever, and like they have a genuine reason for actually being out of work or not being able to get a job. And then you have people that are like career social welfare recipients that could be on it their whole life and not a word said. It's actually crazy, And then Roshi said the business management and agriculture degrees are necessary now. Well, and that's the thing. Like, you know, there's probably so much now involved in farming than back in the old days that, you know, it'll probably blow your mind. You need to be everything from an accountant to, you know, a resource manager to, you know, practically a vet as well to kind of look after your animals, I suppose. And they're Jake Carson, if they get a minimum wage job, they lose half their benefits. And see, that's the thing as well. The system here in Ireland is like that too. It's like people, some people are actually better off being on welfare in terms of money, if you know what I mean, in financial terms. They're better off sitting at home on welfare, because if they went out and even got a part-time job, they lose this benefit, this thing, that thing. And at the end of the day, it doesn't actually work out. They'd actually be losing money if they went to work. And that sort of system and stuff like that needs to be looked at. And this blanket system for everybody, one size fits all, it I know to tailor things for each individual case will probably cost more money, more resources, but to get the best out of the system, that's probably what you need to do. Like, even if it's going to cost more, they'll probably save money in the long run with people that are on it that shouldn't be, that get off it, or resources that are being wasted, that they're being overlooked. So, you know, reforming the system and, you know, allowing, even encouraging people to go get minimum wage jobs, still keep some of their benefits for, you know, like they'd have a system here like that where they do let people keep a certain amount and it reduces every couple of months or whatever. But, you know, you need a kind of a better system that gives people a bit more security for a bit longer, you know. And John Benderson, if there wasn't so much wasted on people able to work but are just lazy, then perhaps money could be used for those reading it. And that's exactly true. Need to promote, and Jake Harrison need to promote work by paying enough welfare to allow them to eat and pay rent. And that's it. Like, you know, you need to be able to live on what you get. Like, the basic rate of like unemployment here is like 200 and something, €208. So like, you know, with the cost of everything going up, and see, the government's kind of here, they're talking about, you know, oh, bringing up social welfare rates in line with inflation, you know, but that's not really going to work, because they give you €5 here or €10 there, but, you know, and as soon as you get it, it's gone. So, and that's the same for people on a pension, people on disability. As soon as they get the money, it's swallowed up in some other bill or some other charge or some other price that's gone up in something. So, you know, it's hard to know how to get it right, but definitely more needs to be done. And see, the thing is, like you guys are talking about in the States and in different countries and all that, and it seems to be across the world, most of the welfare systems that are there, there's a lot of this kind of, you know, it's kind of a lot of wasted money and wasted resources. So I'll hop on to the next clip that I was going to have a look at. And this is one there, it was on the news there recently. And the reason why I wanted to show this clip is that when we're talking about, you know, having respect for people and stuff like that, when we look at, like, let's say frauditors and stuff like that, and they can be quite ignorant to people and they can be quite nasty, they would like to be respected themselves, you know, by the police and by people that they go and deal with in different businesses. But they don't really seem to have respect for other people, you know, especially when they get questioned on anything. And this clip I came across is about two young boys, and they're talking about respect and they know what respect is. And I just think it's crazy that these kids know more about respect than some of these grown men. So I just thought it'd be a good little clip to show. And it's actually a quite nice clip, you know, a kind of a change of pace from the last clip we've seen. And these kids were definitely raised by good parents. So we'll take a quick look at that.
This picture is making the rounds on social media, with people all across the country commending the two boys in it. They're standing next to their bikes, observing a military funeral. Now, they didn't know the man being buried, but they knew enough about what he represents that made them pause.
We're just riding our bikes home, and we're like, I looked over and I seen soldiers. So we stopped and did it until it was finished.
The burial at Batesville Methodist Cemetery was for 89-year-old Charles Everett Yorn.
There was a bunch of people and they shot their guns in the air.
Yorn served in the United States Army and later worked for Hillron. After 32 years, he retired as supervisor. A veteran and respected man in his community, Yorn has a big family. 6 children, 16 grandchildren, 36 great-grandchildren, and 5 great-great-grandchildren. But the boys knew none of that.
Well, when people die, you have to release the respect.
And that's not something you hear from most 9-year-olds. A point highlighted by Jackie Hornback after she posted this photo of the two boys stopping to pay that respect. She wrote how proud she was of the two and that their parents should be proud. And the serviceman, Yorn, surely was in heaven smiling down on them.
It means a lot to me. I know I started tearing up when I seen it and realized it was him and everything. I think I just learned it because I'm real big. I'm military. My dad was military, grandparent.
A proud moment for Lane's father, Sean Moody, who even jokingly commented on the photo on Facebook, "I always wonder if anything I say sinks in. Obviously, more than I thought."
I took a picture of it this morning when I seen over 5,000 likes on one of the posts just for memory, and never thought in a million years something as simple as that would blow up like it has.
A simple act that will forever be meaningful to more people than the boys realize right now. What they do know is that stopping at the service was the only thing to do.
Since we heard the music playing, I don't know, maybe we can respect it. Respect.
So there you go, two lovely young gentlemen there. And I thought that was a lovely clip when I seen it there, that, you know, they could, even though they didn't know the man, they didn't completely understand what was going on, they knew enough that someone has passed away that you should, you know, respect that. And it shows that their parents really brought them up well. And that's vast, you know, contrast to what we just seen before, where the parents didn't really care about the kids. And just when I come to it, that, like, when you think about the frauders, some of them grown men can't respect anybody, especially not, you know, some of them, like, you know. And what I'm saying is, like, these kids, like, being so young and just having that sort of respect for someone, it's just really nice. So they'll kind of always be remembered for that, you know, and you'd rather be remembered for something like that than be remembered for something like the frauders get remembered for. But yeah, so that was just a nice heartwarming clip anyway. And yeah, and as well, the man that passed away as well, he seemed to have a very big family as well. Like, I couldn't believe that, how many kids in it, and that he had great grandkids. So that's just, it's mad, like, you know what I mean? So very big family there. And you know, sad for them, obviously, like, but seems like, you know, he was probably smiling down on those two young lads, like they said in the story there. And then I see there in the comments, Caddy has just proposed. He proposed to me and J Carr. Yeah, so yeah, I just thought that was a nice little clip to throw in there. And I just seen further up, J Carr was saying about his friend, Vietnam veteran, lives on 12,500 a year in disability. And that's the thing I've seen a lot as well, about some veterans out there are struggling, really struggling, like, to get by. And I just think it's crazy, like, but, you know, the fact that they've given so much for their country, especially some of the vets that are disabled as well. having to do that. You know, there could be more done, I suppose, to look after them as well. You know, like, it is crazy when you think there's a lot of people out there in different sections of society, like, you know, like those kids, parents and stuff like that, and veterans, and there's all sorts of people, elderly people, people that are sick, terminally ill people. There's a lot of people out there that are struggling, and especially with costs of everything going up, and, you know, it's just hard, like, you know. King Leo saying great respect from the two kids. The parents are doing an outstanding job raising their kids, and that's 100%. And see, that's the thing. Those two kids are going to grow up, and they're going to have, you know, their heads screwed on the right way. And, you know, you can see the father as well in the clip that he really was proud, and, you know, that's nice to see too. So anyway, continuing on our positive note, I suppose. Here's a bit of a more light-hearted clip. I came across this one, and I just couldn't believe this. And this is one of those situations where you think to yourself, why would you bother doing this? There's just so much effort involved in this. It makes me anxious just thinking about having to go out and all. You'll see in the clip anyway. It's this gentleman. I think it's in Europe somewhere. It could be in Germany or somewhere like that. I can't quite remember. But this is an old man who parking his car in a quite small garage. So we'll take a look at this one. And have a bit of a laugh.
Nu moet nog deze deur open doen. Wil ik de deur van Notterkind daarin. Nu moet ik de Notto. Nu moet ik achteruit rijden. Nu rijd ik achteruit en dan kan ik uitstappen. Hé meneer, zie. Ik leg de Notto stil. Ik stap uit. En ik duw de Notto vooruit. En dat staat binnen. Hé. Zie, nu duw ik de Notto vooruit. Op zijn plaats. De Notto staat op zijn plaats. Doe de deur toe van de Notto. Ik doe deze deur toe. En ik zet de twee zetels daarvoor. Voilà. Nu moet ik de twee zetels daarvoor zetten en mijn huis is in orde, meneer. Zie, kijk maar. Voilà.
Well, there you go. That was quite ingenious. That's one way of getting your car in there anyway. But the older that man gets, I don't think he's going to be able to move that furniture around like that. It'll be pretty agile to be nipping in and out of that car, but I just think that's insane. Probably no on-street parking there for him, but yeah, I could not be dealing with that all the time, you know. But I have to say, at that age, to be that skilled, like, you barely get a whisker in between the car and the wall. So, but I can see that ending badly someday, you know. But yeah, you could back in, you know. But oh, I don't know, it's crazy. Yeah, I just say that. Now, I actually don't think that is German. I think he's from, it could be Netherlands or something. I'm not quite 100% sure. But now that I think of it, it could be the Netherlands. I know in likes of like cities in Holland, like Amsterdam and stuff, that obviously they have a lot of small cars and stuff like that because space is at a premium. It's a real bike friendly city, I suppose. So I suppose space at a premium. You get your little small car and you have to push it in anywhere. Yeah, Roshi's saying they're not German. Yeah, it's just I said German, and then when he started talking, I was like, "Oh, that's never German," you know. But it could be something like could be Dutch, or maybe I think it's something like we get some sort of Scandinavian, something like that there somewhere. But yeah, just madness, like, you know. But I have seen some crazy parking situations, but like that's probably one of the weirdest I've seen, to be quite honest. Yeah, I was thinking that myself, that it might have been Dutch. I really should have better note taking skills when I'm sourcing the clips to remember where it was actually from. So anyway, very shortly, I'm going to end the stream and I'm going to head over and I'm going to premiere Frauditor compilation number 15. And yeah, we haven't had a Frauditor compilation on the channel in a while. I can't remember. I'll just check it when the last one was. I think it was quite a while ago. Yeah, the last Frauditor compilation was back in. Oh, it was only back in February. I thought it was for some reason. I thought it was the end of last year for some reason like that. No, but that was the one where that guy was lurking around outside the fire station. So in this one, the guy's looking outside City Hall and the police station, and it doesn't end well. But yeah, he's no, it's actually is that Florida? Do you mean for the Frauditor compilation? Yeah, that it was only in February. For some reason I thought it was longer than that. So I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, and I'm actually at the moment I'm trying to think what other videos are coming up. I have another Road Rogues video coming up. That's nearly finished. I was working on some of that earlier on. I'm hoping to have that out maybe tomorrow, hopefully. If not Tuesday at the latest. And I have a few other things. I have another one coming up because kind of we're coming into the summer, so it's kind of sea related. So that should be a good one, I suppose. Obviously more frauditors. And yeah, the Stolen Valor video that I had up there as well. Going by the feedback that I've got on that, I put a poll up, and it seems that a lot of people were saying, yeah, go ahead there, and they'd like to see more Stolen Valor videos. And I just noticed from the first one, for the next one that I make, I'll refine it a little bit better so that we're only kind of covering people that are actually claiming some sort of service, you know, wearing the patches and stuff like that, because I kind of understood from, you know, people's comments and what people were saying, kind of what people are more, you know, accepting of. Like, you know, like the first guy in that Stolen Valor video, people were saying, yeah, okay, he's wearing the uniform, but he's not actually, you know, claiming this, that, or the other. He's not actually wearing patches and stuff like that. So they weren't that upset by him. And so I kind of understand what people are under, you know, what people are, you know, what people find disrespectful and what people are accepting of. So kind of over the next couple of videos of that, we should kind of refine it a bit more. But I kind of have an idea now anyway of, you know, what way to go about it. So should be working on that video pretty soon. So, you know, hopefully have that out in a couple of weeks' time. And obviously that other video I was saying about the police officers getting arrested and stuff like that. I see John Bender, or just quickly, I just want to say to Roisin there's in Pasco. It's actually Pasco City in Washington. When I first came across that clip, I was like, because I was thinking Florida. I was thinking Pasco County, Florida. But no, it's actually Pasco in Washington. And John Benderson, were you a big fan of Schrodinger's cat? Yeah, Schrodinger's cat was kind of one of the first channels that I kind of came across with frauditors and stuff like that. So I was, and actually there as well, that another thing we were saying when we're talking about respect and all that, after Schrodinger passed away, I did say there was a lot of, troll accounts out there trying to kind of disrespect them and stuff like that. Like, and I don't know what people get out of doing that. But yeah, no, that was a big shock. I couldn't believe that. It's just crazy. Like, like looking at his videos all up until that happened, and it's crazy, and it's so upsetting to see like so many people that were involved with his channel that would be regularly on his streams, or doing collabs with him or whatever like that, to just see how they, how badly they were affected by it. Like, so it's just, it's crazy. And to be quite honest, he was very young, so it's just bad. Like, heart goes out to like his family and his kids and stuff like that. Just, and then the fact that there was, obviously you get these haters and all that are coming out and saying stuff, and I just, but that's the thing. There's always going to be people like that, and luckily for his family and his friends and stuff like that, there was a lot of good people that supported him, and a lot of good people that stood up to that sort of stuff. And those people will fade away because they just want to get reactions off people and upset people, and as I say, they'll eventually just move on somewhere else. Sadly, that's the fact. They'll move on to somebody else that's had some upsetting thing happen or had some misfortune, and that'll be the next thing they'll be onto. But yeah, like he did seem to inspire an awful lot of people, and like, I think, to be quite honest, like, I'm pretty sure he probably was the biggest channel out there that was, doing frauditor videos and stuff like that. So like, a lot of people in the community kind of looked up to him, and a lot of people, other creators, kind of found our way through like discovering his videos and getting inspired by him and all. So, but yeah, and it's like people saying, yeah, he got a lot of people into watching that sort of stuff, and there's a lot of people like I didn't, like, I never came across his channel when I was watching, let's say, flat earth stuff. Like, I looked at flat earth stuff, the people debunking that. I know probably a lot of people have watched, Simon Dan. I used to watch a lot of his videos about flat earthers and all that, like, and that was kind of the main channel that I'd sort of watch to look at that. And I never came across Schrodinger's cat until I start looking at Frauditor videos. Now I don't actually know what the first Frauditor video I seen was. I'm pretty sure it was a Glenn video, to be quite honest, and that's why that's what our first video ended up being, was a Glenn video. So like, I think it was him that I said, I was like, oh my god, this guy. And when I started looking at what was going on and all, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, so I think John said, somebody please marry Caddy. Yeah, but you see, and that's the thing, even Roger said, going down a rabbit hole. See, that's the thing with some of these things. Like, I came across the first Frauditor video and I was like, well, what's this? And then looked at another and another, and then you go down this rabbit hole of, who are these people? What are they doing? Like, what's going on here? Like, it's crazy, like, but yeah, like, it's Yeah, it's mad. But yeah, yeah, Glenn enough said. Yeah, no, I think it was. I think it was that one that I did the video on where he was outside that medical center harassing those nurses, and that was during the start of the whole um pandemic and all that, and they were out there just trying to do their job, and of course he was having a go at them, and the usual nonsense like. And he has that line that I just had to laugh at, that he says that some woman is pulling out with her son, like, out of the car park, and she shouts at him, go get a real job or something like that, and he just goes, I have a better life than you, a better house and a better car and more money than you, and all this, starts telling her to go feed her son and all this. It's hilarious, like, you know what I mean, like, she's the one that's there, like, at the health center with her son, obviously, like, looking after him, like, and he's outside just harassing the nurses, so it's mad. Yeah, there's a lot of mad stuff. There's Roger and Sasov, Sid S'mores, Frauditor, and those police imposters. The guys that like pretend they're police, and then they sometimes they get pulled over by the police, or they try pull the police over. Some of those are crazy. Leo Leo says he has 3 wives now. Uh, might be on the market for a fourth. Who knows? We might have wedding bells here tonight before the end of the stream. But yeah. Just I didn't actually say has that court case happened with Glenn yet? The one that was supposed to be happening up there in Seattle. There, I kind of lost track of what was going on with that there. There's a few of those frauditors that I haven't seen much from in a while, like that. I used to see, I suppose I haven't really checked on some of them, like, but yeah, hopefully, Glenn learns his lesson soon enough, I suppose. But like, I don't know how these people keep doing this, like, and then going to court and paying for attorneys and all. Like, and I know it's these super chats and all or whatever, or people supporting their channel or whatever. That's probably paying for the lawyers' fees or whatever. But it's just crazy to, like, I don't know how they can just exist that way. Like, you know what I mean? Constantly in and out of courts and police stations, and like, you're gonna spend like the main years of your life doing all of that, like, when you could be out enjoying it like other people. Like, I'm not saying, like, there's people out there that, like, are activists and stuff like that, and they do actual good, but like what a lot of these guys do is not actually doing anything for anybody, and they're just kind of wasting their time. I just seen King Leo saying, Luna, yeah, where you at, Luna? drop drop a $20 super chat and I'll do something stupid, oh, it's crazy. But like, that's the thing, like, and it's got to a bad state of affairs when he has to go on the live stream like that, like, coaxing a super chat or coaxing a donation or anything at all he can coax out of somebody just for the sake of it, like, or whatever, like. But and that whole incident there where he was hanging out at the police station, and the whole, like, pulling his hand out of the jacket and all, it's like, like, it's clearly like, what are you actually trying to do if not to intimidate and try upset people? Like, You know, you're not there for any other purpose. And then and that was nice what the guys did there as well with sorting that officer out that had to deal with him with the with the little like care package or whatever you want to call it there. That was a nice gesture like for that, and I just couldn't believe the fact that he was there when it happened. It was just you couldn't make it up. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, I don't know. You'd love to know what people like that do in their spare time. When they're not out doing that, like what you know, get inside the mind of the frauditor. Like see, like what movies did they like? What food did they eat? All of these things, and see, is it crazy or what? Like yeah, Glenn is always vulgar. Like every video that I've seen with him in it, I don't think I've seen him being nice to anybody or even just remotely courteous. It's always just, I don't know, just loud mouthing and threatening people, and not so much threatening people, challenging people to mutual combat, and that whole thing as well about telling people, oh, if you take off your badge and your gun, we could scrap and all this sort of nonsense. Like, no police officer's going to do that. Like, because like they have a job to go back to. Oh, it's crazy. I think there's only 14 people watching, Kelly, because everybody else is probably eating Easter eggs somewhere in a chocolate coma. But yeah, like it's mad. Like some of the frauditors just go out of their way to be vulgar, I think, sometimes, because gets a better reaction of people. But yeah, not good at all. Well, yeah. So I think I was actually at the start of this stream. I said to myself, we come on and do a few of the comments for about an hour or so like that, and we're actually 2 hours in now. It's time flies when you're having fun, I suppose. But so he said, "There, whisk boy, fake Mike, real news." That's another character. There's a lot of characters. It's like a bad movie, isn't it? And yeah, 2 hours later. So that's everything. It's the same as It's just like I'll just go out for one pint. 7 Captain Morgans later, you're still in the pub talking to people you don't even know. I don't know, crazy, but yeah, like one of them will cross the wrong guy someday. They really will, and it'll just because I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet with some of those. Like some of them really do push the boat out, like, and I'm just surprised someone hasn't snapped at them yet. Yeah, the Irish goodbye syndrome. When I remember that people on the phone, it's just like people say goodbye about 100 times, and nobody really wants to hang up. Hello to Leanne, who's just joined us there now. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's true. What you're saying about the caddy saying there are people out there who don't care about jail. That there are though. Like it's just crazy. Like there's no deterrent, even especially like among, let's say, just criminals as well. Like there's some people like they've so many convictions, so many previous times in prison and all that, and they just sometimes with people like that, it just becomes like the norm. So like they just get just like a cycle as well, as we were talking about before. And we have another proposal there. But yeah. But yeah, like it's just I don't really understand it. Like I've never understood what ever has been achieved by the frauding at all. You know what I mean? So like it's except like generating revenue for the state through fines, and well, actually that revenue is probably being spent on the wasted police hours. Like so. And that's the thing, Roshan, with the fada in the name. To type it out, try putting it in. People just go type RO or whatever, and then so maybe that's why you didn't get your proposal, and neither did John. Hello to Rebecca, who's just joined us now, and happy Sunday to you too. There's people queuing up for proposals now. Oh, John's going to get a proposal there anyway. Oh, he's proposed himself. Yeah, fathers are lifesavers. Yeah, that's true. Another tricky one for me is the euro symbol on the computer. Like on my computer here, there's it's on the same key as the four, the dollar, the four and the dollar, and it's there as well. Like and it's on my last computer that I didn't actually have the euro symbol on it, so it took me a while to figure out where it actually was. But yeah. And then happy Easter to you too, Allegra. Rebecca says she hasn't had a proposal in 22 years. Yeah, the touch screen's easier because you can just hold it down and slide up to the fodder. That's why when I have to say, until I figured out, I couldn't actually figure out how to do it because I wasn't very tech savvy, but couldn't figure out how to do it. And I think somebody was asking in the comments on one of the streams one night, was asking you how you write your name, to be able to respond back to you. And I think you were telling, then I was able to do it because anytime I was responding back, I had to copy and paste the name, so it'd be highlighted. So, I don't know why I just didn't Google it, but however. Rebecca says, I was married 21 years. No one proposes to a married woman. Well, to be quite honest, this day and age, nothing surprises me anymore. You see, you think you've heard everything, and then something else comes along. It's mad. We're probably living in some of the actual craziest times. I love Camp Granada. Yeah, I always think of that Simpsons episode whenever I hear that. Marge is Lisa at Camp Granada. And that's another thing. Is I don't know if there's many people watching now that would have watched The Simpsons. I remember The Simpsons used to be really, really good years ago, and it kind of, I don't know. I hadn't watched it in years, and I remember going back and watching some of the more recent episodes, we'll say, and it's so different than it was years ago. Now I know there was a whole thing with the writers of the show and all that, and I don't think it's the same team that was there before, but you know, it's it used to be always good. Like, say Rebecca, I drive an old Chevy. I can't even get a date. A nice old Chevy. Yeah, that's what I that's what I used to have to do, Leo. I used to always copy and paste. Yeah, like there's it's yeah, John saying the Simpsons have lost their bite. Yeah, I don't know what it was years ago. It was really good, and then I don't know, it kind of lost its way or something. I notice now there's a lot of I don't really want to go as far too much to say as it's kind of sold itself out, but you can see a lot of stuff in it. They're trying a lot. Like there was one episode I seen, it was something to do with it was like there was a whole thing in it about Apple. It wasn't actually Apple. It was some you know brand that they had made up in it or whatever. But it was taken off the Apple iPhone and stuff like that. And when I seen that, and it was real, I don't know. It just wasn't the Simpsons that I was used to when I was younger. Like so. And Jensen, dating is not fun these days. I can imagine it hasn't been for people, especially over the last 2 years with people with like lockdowns and restrictions and stuff like that. People haven't been able to like actually go out and socialize properly. So I suppose it actually can be quite lonely for some people that were like, or even just think about it, someone that was maybe starting to date someone when all that kind of hit the fan, and then maybe that was all thrown all over the place with that. Yeah, and even people are saying there, you see a lot of horror stories about like, it's just with things online, it's like I suppose people can pretend to be people that are not, and they can like pose as others, and maybe you can think somebody is one way and then they turn out to be totally different. It is kind of it's hard, especially like people online. And King Leo saying he still watches The Simpsons. Yeah, and actually, you know what? Like sometimes I might actually check out some more recent episodes of it, and kind of just see what I think. Might even go back and watch some of the old ones. And Anne said she hasn't been into a bar, into a bar in 2 years. Rebecca says, "Meet a man while at the bar, and you get a man that goes to a bar." And then that could be the case in a lot of things. Yeah, it's kind of I suppose you know in those settings, sometimes people are just looking to hook up with people and stuff like that. So, if you're looking for something serious, a lot of people, like when they look for serious relationship, they end up, you know, meeting each other through like a common interest that they have, or through friends and stuff like that, as opposed to that. But what the whole thing with bars and pubs, like even like if you look at teenagers now, I don't know how people do all of that now. still, like, especially even now, and everything's much more expensive and stuff like that. It's just, it's crazy. Actually, yeah, streaming this live on Facebook as well, and I don't think there's anybody actually watching on Facebook at all. Not that that's a problem or nothing like that, but it's just if there's anybody use Facebook anymore. I think Facebook is dying at the moment, like, so a lot of the other platforms like Instagram and all are catering for younger people, TikTok and all that. They seem to be overtaking it. Yeah, I'd say Roshi was saying I go to the pub, same people there that I've known my whole life. And that's the thing as well, like, I suppose when people live in a big city and all, you can go out different bars and stuff, and there's plenty of different people. But if you're living in a small town or a village or something like that, it's the same people that you know around. And yeah, in those sort of situations, it can be hard for people, TikTok is a dumpster fire. Yeah, I don't really get TikTok. There's a lot of garbage on it. Jake Harshani avoids Facebook, only keep it to see my kids and grandkids. Yeah, and I see that a lot of people do, use it kind of for that purpose. And I just see a lot of like younger people that were on it before, or even young people now. Not many people using it, So I can see that kind of fading away. And plus, with a lot of stuff that they're focusing on recently, and then there's a lot of controversy around Facebook with, like, policing content and protecting people online and all that. That they're not doing too well. And that Zuckerberg's very strange as well, very strange. So I don't know. It's a very weird company as well. But I'm saying that as I'm streaming on their platform, but however, probably be shut down by Mark. Yeah, but Roger said photo storage, and that's what it seems to be. I remember as far back as Bebo days. And luckily Bebo is gone, because there's an awful lot of cringe on that. That'd be great to actually have control of the archives of Bebo, because there'd be so much cringe on it. It'd be unreal. But yeah, that was another platform that had its day. It was very big at one stage. I don't know how big it was. It was fairly big here in Ireland anyway. But I don't know. I know a lot of people in America had. I think, what was that? MySpace. I never was on that, but I remember Bebo, and then Facebook came along, and I remember when Facebook came along, it was seen as, it wasn't really, wasn't cool or nothing like that. It was real weird at the start, and then Facebook kind of became the thing, and then that went away, and then Instagram became the thing, and I don't really know what's happening with that, whether that's kind of on the way out and it's kind of gone to the likes with younger people, like TikTok and stuff like that. Twitter's another one that can be quite a lot of nasty people on Twitter. John, I said, I don't know what I was trying to say there. I was saying Jay Carr is saying MySpace, lol. Yeah, MySpace. That's going back as well, like. No, Ireland is not in Canada. Well, last I knew anyway. We're on the, we say we're on the western edge of Europe. And MySpace. A lot of people remember MySpace and stuff like that, or what was that? AOL. Um, yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of stuff. Or what was the other one? MSN, the Messenger. You used to have that little kind of app thing on your computer, and you used to message people. There was a nudge thing on it. People used to annoy you with that. MSN, yeah, that was something like back in the day. Everyone was on that. It's just crazy to think about what was the thing back then, and considering what's available now. Like it's insane. Like yeah, going onto your page, yeah, customizing everything and updating things, and sure, even back when we used to be going on Bebo all the time, like we were only teenagers and didn't even have any not internet at all, proper internet at home. So we were kind of going into these internet cafes to update your Bebo profile. Yeah, bit of nostalgia here tonight of old websites, probably packed to the rafters with cringe. Rebecca said, was literally telling my 17-year-old yesterday about MySpace and customizing, and I guarantee you that's probably alien to them. About this. It's now it's I like even some of these TikTok things. I don't understand them. This like lip syncing to tracks, like, and like there's about like millions of people lip syncing to the same track. It Why? Like I don't know. It's crazy. Oh, she said Ennis had internet dial up. Had internet. I'm assuming you're saying that there's no internet there now. But it's shockingly bad in the West for internet. I believe like it could be actually it could be shockingly bad in some places that you wouldn't actually expect it to be bad. There's a couple of places actually in Dublin that seem to be. Uh, there's a couple of places I was in, and the signal is just non-existent, and you're in the middle of a city. I don't know if it's just like built up area or what the story is, but it's crazy. And would you find that the satellite broadband or whatever, would you find it decent? Because we're like, there's been saying for years they're going to be bringing proper broadband to the West, and there doesn't seem to be anything. And I feel bad for people that are trying to run businesses over there that rely on the internet. Leanne said, never thought I'd have to teach online, but I sure learned how too quickly. I presume that you're some sort of a teacher or something like that. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people have to adapt, and I suppose that can be hard as well to kind of like if you're teaching in a classroom face to face with students or whatever, like to go to doing it online and having it's just a totally different dynamic, I suppose. Yeah, no, I can imagine, Roisin, that like I've seen loads of stuff about it, how bad the internet is over there and stuff like that. It's like you'd assume like in 2022 that there'd be better than that. Like it's crazy. Yeah, no, I'd say it is very challenging, because when you think about it, like, you know, as well, like, I'm like, you know, teachers obviously care that the students are getting the best education, like, and online education can have its benefits, I suppose, and then I suppose there's negatives in terms of, you know, I suppose you'll probably never beat face to face teaching, like, you know, for in terms of, you know, the communication aspect of it and all, like, you know, but in fairness, though, at the same time, luckily that we do have things like the online Zoom and all these different things to be able to, like, because when all that stuff happened, if we didn't have that, anything like that, a lot of the kids would have been, like, you know, way behind that stage. So it's kind of good that we have those sort of things. Yeah, like, yeah, to see, that's the thing, like, it's rural, and you understand, oh yeah, like, you know, when things are rural, you know, things can be slower to happen, like, you know, and getting around to it, because they seem to prioritize, you know, bigger towns and cities and stuff like that. But yeah, like, you think in this day and age, like, it's crazy, like, because if even when you say that in terms of, like, you know, jobs and industry and all, not very little goes over to the west. It's all, everything's focused on Dublin, and there's not much else, and that's where that's going to come back and bite years down the line, you know, because you've seen there, even when the recession happened, there was communities falling apart because, like, the main couple of businesses in the town were closing down, and then there was no soul left in the place, and everybody moved out, and then the towns were just left like shells, you know. No, Roger, you're probably better on the turbine and not on the power grid with the prices, with the prices that are gone to this stage. You know, I think we'll probably be all on the turbine next, or well, so turbine in Ireland maybe, yeah, because we get a lot of wind and crap weather, like, but solar panels, I wouldn't say be up to too much here. It's very hit and miss. Drive 2.5 hours out of Dublin. You're back in 1949. That could be true in some places, all right, and even some of the roads and all in bits, and yeah, it's crazy, like. And says she has to get up at 4:30, so she has to say goodnight. Well, thank you for joining us. It was nice to see you, and hope you have a nice day tomorrow. And anyway, oh yeah, it was about 20 minutes ago. I was just saying about going over and doing the Frauditor premiere. So hang on there just a sec. I had to cough there. I didn't want to blow the ears off everybody if anyone's listening with headphones. I see Jay Carr saying adding solar to his home this year. See, that's the thing. A lot of people are starting to go for alternative sources and all, especially with costs. And as well, I suppose if you have your own turbine, you have your own panels and stuff like that, you're kind of more self-sufficient, you know. If the grid goes down or something like that, you know, or if there's a power cut somewhere, you'll still be able to get power to your home. So there's a good upsides in that. So what I'm going to do is I'll end the stream now in a minute. I'll go over to the channel, and what I'll do is I'll schedule the premiere for, we'll say, like maybe 10 minutes time or so. Give people a chance to get over there and, get there and whatever and settle in, and then I'll just schedule it for that, because it'll probably get a bit messy if I go to do it straight away. But yeah, we'll go and do the premiere of that, and of course I'll be back again for another live stream very soon, hopefully anyway. Don't really know what we'll do in the next one, but it's good to have a chat and see what everyone's up to. And to be quite honest, I was only, as I was saying there about 20 minutes ago, about an hour previous to that, I was only going to do it for about an hour, and then when you come on and you get talking and stuff like that, and you see a few clips and this, that, and the other, it kind of, the time flies by. And that's really nice of you to say that, Kelly, that you had a nice time, and definitely come back again anyway, because we'll be definitely back chatting again soon. So yeah, thanks very much everybody for coming along to the live stream, and next time hopefully I'll plan it a bit better so that I can put out notice that it's happening, rather than kind of, I was supposed to actually do it yesterday, and then it ended up, no, I was supposed to do it the day before that, and then something, I think I fell asleep that evening, and then by the time I got up and got organised, I said, oh no, there's no point in doing it now. And then I was supposed to do it yesterday, but got around to it today. But definitely be doing another one very soon. It's just been a bit of a disaster there recently. There's been a lot going on, so trying to stay on top of everything else and keep going as well. So yeah, but we're back on track now anyway, and things are looking much better. So yeah, so what I'll do is I'll head over there and I will set that premiere for about 10 minutes time over on the channel. Well, we're on the channel now, but yeah, see, that's the tiredness, because it's 2:20 in the morning, so that's what I'm blaming that on. So thanks very much to everyone for joining us too, and I definitely forget someone here, but we've had Leo's been here, Jay Carr, Roisin, Rebecca, Caddy, and we've had some people further up, and I'm definitely going to miss Leanne as well, who just left us there. We've had John Bender. Just going back up through the chat there. We've had some people in and out, and my apologies if I did miss anybody. But as I said, thanks very much for joining me here, and hopefully I will see you again very soon. And of course, I'll have Road Rogues Volume 9. It is. That will be coming either tomorrow or the day after. But join me in 10 minutes' time over on the channel for Frauditor compilation number 15. And once again, thanks to everybody for joining us. And thank you to everyone for your continued support. And I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you over at the premiere. Stay safe. Take care. Peace.